Hello everybody and welcome back to the 5th episode of Technological Journey. So last episode we did a complete base overhaul. We got our polylaprocatum. I still cannot pronounce that, unfortunately. We got some more advanced MP machines and we also made polyethylene. So there's a few goals for this episode. The first one is to get our refined processors. These are a lot cheaper than the ones we are making right now, which is the primitive one. And I also want to get into applied energistic as soon as possible, but since AE2 takes a lot of gold, we are going to make the gold line too before making the AE2 stuff. So these are the three main goals we want to accomplish in this episode. But I think the refined circuits is going to take the longest steps. Alright, so we have made our wafers here last episode at the end, and it is going to be used to cut down different wafers. For example, we can make CPU wafers, RAM wafers, and integrated circuit wafers. But we need a advanced precision laser engraver in order to cut these down. So yeah, I think we are going to make the laser engraver. It's nothing new, it's just a emitter which takes electron, which is just some gold and silver. Oh, gold is... we don't have a big supply of gold because this Modpack is modified and we cannot get abundance of gold until we set up the gold line. We can make 3 more gold right now, which is like literally nothing, but it should get us enough rods, electrum rods, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe not, we might need 4 ingots. So yeah, so we might need to get 1 more gold ingot. We get our gold nuggets by smelting up these precious metal, which we can use in later in our gold line, but we're gonna smelt these, and I think 1 ingot gives 3 gold nuggets, which is a really bad ratio, but there is 9 gold ingots. Alright, so if we put this into alloy smelter, this should turn into electrum. Perfect, it is now giving us electrum. And if we put our electrum ingot in the lathe, this should give us 8 rods. Right there is our emitter, which actually takes 2 MV circuits, so this is really expensive actually. And there is our advanced precision laser engraver. And well, we're down to 2 more MV circuits again. We can craft 2 more technically, but yeah, I hope we don't need to make any more machines, because I definitely do not want to make any more primitive circuits. Right, let's place down our new advanced precision laser engraver, and we connect this up into our energy system. This should receive our energy now. Perfect. So now we can make RAM wafers, CPU wafers, and integrated circuit wafers. So I think we'll make the CPU wafers first. Alright, so in order to make our CPU wafers, we need a glass lens, which we can make with some flint and diamonds. So there is our glass lens. And if we put our lens in the machine with some wafers, we'll put 8 in here right now. This should start giving us CPUs, but it's a pretty slow recipe. As you guys can see, it takes 45 seconds. And after we get our CPU wafers, we are going to cut it down in our cutting saw to get 8 CPUs. And then we can finally craft this, the electronic processor. But this is like a worse version, I would say. It's a bad version of the refined, at least comparatively speaking. And also, if you guys see, we have 2 recipes actually for these processors. I think the SMD recipe is definitely the way to go, since SMDs are a lot cheaper than like the resistors and capacitors. Since like these takes aluminum foil, these takes like these stupid recipes, and these are just some simple recipes that we can automate, and we can craft a batch of these. Yeah, just look at this SMD. Some copper wires and a carbon dust makes 24, which is a huge amount compared to these. And there is a quest here, down here, for the SMD. So yeah, in the meantime, I think we should make some SMDs. But we got our CPU wafers anyway, and if we put this in the cutting machine, this should start cutting the wafer. Yes, 15 seconds. Alright, there's our 16 CPUs. Let's complete. Oh, we get 4 more wafers. Oh, that is a lot. We can cut this too. And now we have access to electronic processors. But as I said, we're gonna mix SMD before making this a circuit. And if you guys wonder where I get these titanium drums, it's from a quest reward, from like the LVH or something. So I think we will make a batch of these for SMDs. Oh, this takes gold wire, so I don't think we're making diodes soon, but I don't think it's required in any of these lower tier circuits. It will be required like for, I mean, HV or EV maybe. But yeah, so let's craft our refined SMD first. It just takes some copper wire and a carbon dust with some polyethylene, which is easy to get. Right, we got our copper wires and we got carbon dust from centrifuging dark ashes, which we get from, I think, our blast furnace up there when we're making steel. But if we get some polyethylene, oh, we might need to fluid extract this again. Right, so if we put our polyethylene sheet here, this should start extracting it. Yeah, but this is a 4-second recipe, so it's quite slow, but it should work. Right, there's some polyethylene. Let's grab some of these. The remaining is gonna get processed in here. If we put our polyethylene here with some carbon and copper wires, this should, in theory, give us SMDs. We might need circuits, maybe? Oh, this is a MV recipe, so this means we need a MV assembly machine. I'm not sure. Should we make? Yeah, I think we should make the assembly machine since SMDs is like a lot cheaper than the original recipes. So yeah, I think we're gonna get a MV assembly machine. Right, since we are out of copper ingots, I think it's time to finally put our miner to use. So in order for this to work, we need some drilling fluid, which we can make by mixing lubricant, water, and stone dust. Alright, I've made 35 buckets of drilling fluid, which should last us a long time. And yeah, let's set up our machine. Right, I've crafted up another steam turbine here. And if we find a copper vein, which is, I'm pretty sure, down there, we should be able to mine up some copper. Right, so I've set up a miner here. This is a charcoal pyrite vein. As you guys can see, there is a charcoal pyrite dust here. Oh, hello zombie. So we have placed our solar panel on top. We got the reward from the FTP. So if we place a crate next to it, right, and if we give this some drilling fluid, right, this should start running. And can we output this to the right? And this should start drilling for ores. Let's try timing about all this. Oh yep, it's definitely mining up ores right now. But this is going through our drilling fluid really fast. But oh yep, there is our copper veins here. That is our advanced assembly machine. And we can finally craft some SMDs. And some fine copper wires and some carbon dust should give us some SMDs. Perfect, this is crafting us some SMDs. Right, there is 48 SMDs. And the next one we need is the yellow one, which takes rubber foil and steel foil. We should have plenty of rubber sheets and steel plates. Right, there is some steel foils and rubber foils. And if we put it in here, this should make us some refined SMDs. Perfect. And we just need some fine copper wires, a CPU, and a good phenolic circuit board, which is made by, I guess, surrounding copper wires with phenolic circuit board. How do we get phenolic circuit boards? Wood pulp and glue with a plate mold, right? If we put some wood pulp with a plate mold with some glue, and this should be producing us some phenolic circuit boards, right? And there is 3 circuit boards. How much more can we make? 5? That's not a good amount. Can we make this anywhere cheaper? Sodium persulfate, iron free chloride. I think we're just gonna skip this, and we're just gonna stick with 5 for now. If we need more, we can get it anytime sooner. But if we place our components here, we are missing some soldering alloy, I believe, since the circuits take soldering alloy instead of polyethylene. Soldering alloy, which is just 9 tin ingots and 1 antimony and antimony dust. Right, there is 2,800 millibuckets of soldering alloy. Oh, it turns out this is actually the assembly machine. instead of the circuit assembly machine. Yeah, I think this should be put it in the circuit assembly machine here. Our items here, this should actually craft us the circuits, right? There is our electronic processors. And how about MVs? We need electron plates. Right, turns out I think we actually need 16 of these to make our MV circuits assembler. Alright, there is 16 electronic processors. So now we're gonna make the MV one, which is electron plates and some more. Oh, we need transistors this time, which is copper wires and silver plate. Right, there's a few silver plates. Oh, hello there. You shouldn't be here. Please don't blow up my base. Alright, some silver plates and some copper wires. I think 8 should be plenty. With some polyethylene. This should give us some transistors, I'm pretty sure. Great, 32 per recipe. Alright, so some transistors, some resistors, some electron plates, and the LV circuit. This should produce us the MV version. Perfect, there is our MV circuit. The HV one, this is a bit more complicated. This takes integrated circuits and LV superconductor wires, which are both the recipes. As you guys can see in the quest line, this is the superconductor wire and this is the integrated circuit. We can get integrated circuits pretty easily just by putting some wafers through Reddit lens. And the LV superconduct side, we need nitrogen, tiny steel pipes, 2 LV electrical pumps, and these base wires, which can be made from blast furnacing the ingots, which is mixed by soldering alloy, 10 soldering alloy dust and 2 gallium dust. And we can get steel pipes through the extruder, but since we don't have enough circuits, we're missing 3 MVs, I think. Alright, I think we need 8 more LVs. I didn't account for we have an extra LV circuit here. So this should be enough LV circuits, I'm pretty sure. And there is our last MV circuit we need. Alright, so in order to get our integrated circuit wafer, we need a red lens. You can get our red lens and green lens, one for RAM, one for integrated circuit wafer, by doing this quest, which is just some crushed ruby and crushed green sapphire ore. I'm pretty sure we have some ruby here. Yep, there's 16 here. Right, so we found some green sapphire here, so let's dig down and mine some green sapphire, I guess. Alright, this should be our green sapphire ore. There is our lens. Alright, so now we can use our red lens here to make some integrated circuits. Right, there's our first integrated circuit wafer, and if we cut this in the cutting machine, there's our 8 integrated circuits. Let's cut one more. Right, the next one we're gonna get is the LV superconductor base ingot, which is mixed by 10 soldering alloy and 2 gallium dust. This should give us some LV superconductor wire dust. And there's our 12 dust, and if we put these in our blast furnace, I'm pretty sure this would start running. And these will give us our ingots. And then if we wire mill these space ingots, this should give us our wire. Perfect. And now we're missing the pump. And also nitrogen, of course. And then we actually need 4 pumps, which is a lot, I would say. Alright, there's our 4 pumps. And the last one we need is nitrogen, which I think we can get it in the air collector. So now let me just place this over here. And is this collecting air? It is. If we put some air in here, this should give us some oxygen and nitrogen. Perfect. Alright, so if we put some nitrogen here, superconductor, our pump, tiny steel pipes. This is a pretty long recipe. This should be 6 wires. So if we put in our superconductor wire in our integrated circuit, this should craft us our first HV circuit. And there it is, our first HV circuit. Alright, so the reason we've crafted HV circuits is to make the advanced circuit assembly machine, which obviously takes HV circuits. After we make the circuit assembly machine, we can get the refined processors, which is like the most cheap recipe. And turns out we need 3 more MV circuits, 1 for robot arm and 2 for the emitter. And there is our 3 MV circuits. Right, there's a few more electrical motors. It's our 2 conveyor module, our electrical piston, our MV robot arm, and our emitter. And another milestone, we have our MV circuit assembler. Alright, so finally we can make our refined processor. As you guys can see, this takes another material, which is a good plastic circuit board, which is the quest over here. So we can get the circuit boards either from iron-free chloride or sodium persulfate. And I think we're gonna craft with iron-free chloride for one time, and then we will automate sodium persulfate, since we can automate sodium persulfate and we cannot automate iron-free chloride. But iron-free chloride is easier to get, so like if I'm gonna get like a batch of circuits, and then I can craft the machines needed for sodium persulfate, if you guys know what I mean. So let's craft iron-free chloride, which we can make by chemical reacting hydrochloric acid with iron dust. And we can get hydrochloric acid from mixing hydrogen and chlorine, which I have been storing here by electrolyzing salt. So we have a bunch of sodium here, and we have like 184 buckets of sodium, which should last us for days. So chlorine and hydrogen give us HCl. There's our 64 buckets of hydrochloric acid. If we react iron dust with some HCl, this should give us some iron-free chloride. So I wonder how much do we need? Oh, only 250 for a circuit board, so we can make like 4 stacks of these. I want to batch craft as much refined processors as possible, because I mean, batch crafting's name of the game, right? Right, there's a few iron-free chloride here. If we put ethylene polyethylene sheets with copper foil, this should give us the plastic circuit boards. If we place our plastic circuit board here with our iron-free chloride and some copper foils, this should start producing us some plastic circuit boards. SMDs, plastic, 10-hour wire. We're missing some CPU, and we need some soldering alloy. And this should be our refined circuits, right? Refined processors. And this is a big milestone to our technological journey. We have unlocked our refined here. Oh, this is such a great site. Crafting circuits very easily right now. So yeah, I guess I'll just batch craft a lot of circuits, I hope. And I will see you guys when I get a lot of circuits. In order to get refined MV circuits, I think we need stainless steel, because it requires stainless steel plates here. We need 6 iron dust, manganese dust, nickel dust, and chrome dust. And I'm pretty sure we get a chance output from mining ruby ore, or macerating ruby ore. It gives us a chance of getting a chrome dust. So yeah, let's get some ruby ore and let's macerate some ruby ores. Alright, so I have electrolyzed some ruby dust. I macerated some ruby in here, and it gives us impure power, and I just washed it in the simple ore washer. And I took these ruby dust into the electrolyzer, and this will give us some chrome dust. Alright, so the next thing we need for the stainless steel is manganese. I have gone and put a miner in a pyrolusite vein, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just melting up some pyrolusite, and we're getting some manganese ingots. And we're gonna put these in the macerator, and we will get our manganese dust. And we just need some iron dust and nickel dust, which we can just get by macerating some iron and some nickel, I guess. You have a bunch of nickel here anyways. We should be able to craft the dust. That should be 2 stacks of stainless steel. Wow, that's a lot more than I thought it would give. And if we run this through our blast furnace, it is a 93.5 second recipe per stainless steel ingot, so long recipe. Right, we got our first stainless steel ingot here. Pretty cool. We can collect more ruby and pyrosite ore. Alright, so since stainless steel takes a long time to craft, I have decided that we are going to make the gold line first. The gold line, which makes getting gold a lot more easier. The only way to get gold now is through mining some gold ores or smelting up some precious metal over here. And these, I think, 1 ingot gives like 1 gold nugget, which is like a really terrible ratio. But if we set up the gold line correctly, this should give us 2 gold dust per precious ingots, I'm pretty sure. And by the way, the gold only spawns in the nether, and it is like really rare, and I don't think it will be sufficient for us to craft all our applied energistic components. Especially I want to get into auto crafting as soon as possible. Right, there's 5 chemical reactors. There's our alloy smelter, our MV mixer, our chemical dehydrator. Oh, we have a spare robot arm actually. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Alright, I guess I'll see you guys when I set up the gold line. Alright, it's been a few hours or so, around 2 hours, but I've basically set up this simple gold line. Actually, it's not that simple. I'll try to briefly explain how this gold line works. So the only input item I'm pretty sure is the precious metal here. It goes into the alloy smelter with some copper dust. This should give us gold alloy ingot here. Yep, copper dust and precious metal ingot give us 4 gold alloy dust. And the gold alloy ingot mixed with nitric acid give us gold leach and nitrogen dioxide. We get nitrogen dioxide from a loop since this gives us back some nitrogen dioxide. So it's basically a self loop from getting nitric acid. Gold leach reacting with hydrochloric acid give us leached copper and chlorotic acid. Get hydrochloric acid from chemical reacting hydrogen and chloride. And the leached copper is chemical dehydrated to give us copper dust back into the loop to get the gold alloy ingots from the beginning. And the chlorotic acid mixed with some potassium metabisulfate dust gives us gold dust and some byproducts here, and also chlorine, so we can have a self-sustaining hydrochloric acid supply. We get the potassium metabisulfate dust, I can't pronounce that, from mixing oxygen, potassium, and sulfur. This is doesn't, as the tooltip says, it is not consumed in the process, so we just need one here, and this should give us infinite gold dust. So this is basically the whole thing. It loops. And I said the only thing we need to input, I think, is oxygen, hydrogen, precious metal ingot over here. And as you guys can see, we already have, I don't know, 5 stacks of gold dust here, which means this is a success. Let me just put a stack back in there, and we'll smelt up these, and we'll get into AE2. In the meantime of making the gold line, we also got a lot of stainless steel here. And I also made an inscriber press for applied energistic. So each one should have its own recipe. Yeah, so this is just stainless steel and glass lens. This is stainless steel with red lens. Red lens with aluminum plate. And this is aluminum plate with glass lens. So it's a really easy recipe. I'm pretty sure meteors are rare, and I do not want to find them for an hour or so, so I just crafted it. Really good quality of life by the authors. But yeah, let's dive into applied energistic. The next thing we're gonna need to make is Certus quartz crystal, which could be only made in the autoclave, which we do not have in our machine line here, so we need to add another machine. Right, we're just missing an LV pump, and this should give us our autoclave. Alright, I got a little spaghetti wire here, but this is supplying our autoclave some water. And if we insert some Certus quartz, this should start making us Certus quartz crystal. Yeah, I cannot pronounce anything right now. Anyways, there's our Certus quartz crystal. And the next task is to make some fluix crystal, which, yeah, is the normal recipe here. But yeah, we need charged Certus quartz, which we can mix with Certus quartz and redstone. So yeah, let's do a bit. I'm gonna do a bit of crafting off camera, and I'll see you guys when I get the flux dust. So I believe we throw some quartz, redstone, and charged Certus quartz. And yes, there is our flux crystal. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna make is the charger here, since I do not want to be mixing redstone to get charged Certus, because this is a waste of materials. Alright, so this automation should work. So if I put some Certus quartz crystal here, this should charge the crystal, and then when it's charged, it should put it here. And yeah, this is I guess a kind of automatic, semi-automatic charge Certus quartz crystal. And the next thing we're gonna make is these 3 calculation processors. So it's just some printed calculation, which is Certus quartz with inscriber. Printed silicon is just silicon with silicon press. And this is some diamond, which we have a bunch of. And this is gold, I believe. So we can craft a bunch of these, and these just take polyethylene and a circuit, which we have a bunch here. Right, so I've got some printed silicons here, and if we put some of these components in here, this should start making us some logic processors. Right, so I've taken a bit of time and I set up this applied energistic 2. I've crafted the fluid terminal and the pattern terminal, and I crafted a few 4K storage cells, but it's not a lot of storage space, so I think we might add more later. And we have some basic applied energistic stuff here. We have our power generation to power the applied energistic 2 systems, energy acceptor, and energy cell for the buffer for the system, and also place down some molecular assemblers and some crafting processing units and crafting storage for auto crafting. And if you guys are wondering, am I using channels since I'm using smart cable? No, this is just I just feels like this looks better than these stupid Flix cables. Like, these just look horrible. So I think this is a good wrapping up point for the video. We made our first refined circuits today, and we also did our gold line here to give us gold. Technically our first real chemistry line, like compared to polyethylene, I'm not sure. And we also got some basic applied energistic stuff here, like for example some of these molecular assemblers interface. We got some of these done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope next episode we can get into auto crafting stuff, like really auto crafting, and also biodiesel, and get into HV. I think that's our goal, our next goal. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.